It's exciting times, man. Like she's proper, trying to. I guess
It's like, did the first batch sell off though?
it's the first batch they put on now.
Okay.
But they ordered another batch.
They just ordered another one off the back
of just they just I don't know, they felt the vibe, and they asked my sister. They said, how lost the turnover to get another 100? And she was like, oh, just another. They said another batch. She's like 8 weeks, but she just threw a number out there because she was like that'll get them up off me. And the woman who's the middle woman called her back and said, listen, they need to send an invoice for another 104 because the buyer's going on holiday, on vacation in 2 weeks. So they need to sign off it now.
Mad.
My sister's sitting there thinking, huh? And I told her the story of how when Larry David, when Jerry Seinfeld told him, look, after the pilot, they said, look, they want to go to series. They want 22 episodes.
Yeah.
He said physical tears came down his eyes because he asked himself, how the hell am I going to write 22 of these?
Bro.
When he almost killed himself for just one.
Bro.
It got to the point where he actually told Jerry, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah.
I don't want it no more.
Larry was a character like
Larry was
that,
a character. They used to ban him from the meetings. Because one time they went to the NBC meetings.
Yeah.
And you know how the producers and the execs get?
Yeah.
They see your idea. Because at first they didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Because it's a show about nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were like, you're going from, Mad Dad and, Bobby's Roof where it's a father in the home and it's the quintessential American.
Yeah, like
they're
all
going
those
from all
family
those things.
sitcoms and
Right.
stuff like that.
He's come with this new...
He's got single people who are friends but not really, no one's together.
Right.
Like Elaine and Seinfeld dated before, I think. But like there's no real ties.
No.
They just like live nearby their friends. They don't have any traditional sort of...
going anywhere, or there's no mum and dad coming to visit and having the whole family tradition meal where they talk about, in the Cosby Show, they said we in Hillman. There's none of
It's
that.
amazing that they got that show off, man.
Well, because, one, Jerry was highly rated as a comedian on the circuit.
Yes.
So NBC was
Fair
like,
play.
we're going to trust this guy. Then he only brought Larry David in because he'd never written anything. And he said Larry David's the only person he knew had written a script. And it's funny because Jerry Seinfeld was the likable guy on the comedy circuit.
Yeah.
Larry David wasn't.
Of course.
But his strength was writing. His strength was structure.
Yeah.
I mean, he used to come on and pretend to be a professional wanker
on
stage.
Yeah.
And imagine the audience are like, oh my God. Then you got Jerry Seinfeld who's polished and doing gags.
Yeah.
So it's a great combination. And that's a lesson for people to learn.
Who's the Seinfeld, who's the Larry between us?
I would say I don't know. I don't think we're like those people.
Yeah, I don't think we're like it doesn't line up exactly.
No, and that's another thing I learned about watching movies.
Yeah.
How when I would watch American movies and American comedies, I was watching it literally from outside looking in. Yeah. But not relating to any of those characters.
Okay.
But then I watch Best Man and I'm like, oh shit, that's my homeboy right there. Like I relate to them way more on a this is how I can those situations are so, I wouldn't say British black or even Nigerian black, but very black universal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your boy is smashing so many girls, his girlfriend puts it on you, now you're in the bad position, like, oh man. So all of that. But I go back to saying with Larry David, they would have the meetings and execs get excited. They want to throw their own little ideas in.
Of course.
And every time they throw ideas in, everybody will they'll be brainstorming, spitfiring, and getting excited. And Larry will just wait to them and be like, no.
My guy, Larry David.
One time they say he just walked out. Like what?
Larry David.
He just said look at them and say, no, we're not doing any of that.
I went to the Seinfeld diner in New York.
Okay.
The sad thing you realize when you get there, they didn't shoot in the diner. Everything even though Seinfeld's set in New York, it's shot in LA. Of course. They just used the outside of this diner, and this diner has been eaten off of the fact that the Seinfeld thing. They got all these Seinfeld pictures on the wall and whatnot, but the actual diner where they constantly go and eat and stuff is actually just a set.
Studio.
Yes.
But the sad thing is that people would actually go to a Seinfeld diner.
Yeah,
that's the crazy.
I went there.
I know, but that's the crazy. That's like going to a friend's cafe or.
No, but it's like if there was a real Central Perk, would you not go there and get a cup of coffee?
Nah.
You wouldn't go.
Nah.
To be honest, in this case, my friend was living like one block up and one block across. So it's like, it's in the area, you know what I'm saying? Right. So you could just say, I'm going to go and actually go to the diner. But when they told me like, that's the diner from Seinfeld, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to go there.
But the guy, the mad guy character, the one with the hair, what's his name? I never watched Seinfeld, by the way, not entirely, so I don't know it 100%. But the character that got done for racism, Kramer.
Yeah.
What's his character in the show? I mean, Is it called Kramer?
It's called Kramer in the show. He's Michael Richards in real life.
So Kramer in the show is actually based on a real character, right?
Yeah.
That Larry David used to live with.
Yeah.
They wanted to cast him, but they did this thing where you don't cast real people.
Yeah.
So they casted Thingy.
Yeah.
But that guy, and that's why I love America, capitalism. That guy said, "Well, I'm still gonna eat off of the character."
Of course. Yep.
So he did bus tours of the apartment.
Yeah.
And show people I'm the real Kramer, and this is how I used to behave. And the beauty of what Larry David did was he created a world that people were like, because the person who plays George, I think.
Yeah.
He was playing Larry David.
Yeah.
But
I know.
he said, I didn't know this.
I got that.
He said until one time, he said he's reading the script and he's like, listen, I'm kind of struggling with what you've written here.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who would react like this. What are you talking about? That's exactly how I reacted. And he said this when he said to him, so I've been playing you all this time. Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. And if you watch Curb, there's an episode where they do a Seinfeld reunion and basically shoot an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
is that the one where they did the one with the...
And so he ends up standing in as George.
Is that the one
finally doing it like he should have?
Is that the one where they had the one with the belly, and she's got the top that when she puts her hand up and everything, it shows the belly?
I don't remember that,
bruv. Larry, because what Larry and Jerry Seinfeld are expert at are making a meal out of those small situations.
Just a small mouthful.
Like, come on, let it go. Just let it go. But they can turn it into a big discussion.
And I feel like when you say about creating the world, I think like when you watch Seinfeld, what you start to get into is you start to recognize how they're going to react to certain things. Even though you would never react that way. You're like, oh, I know that's going to be a big deal for Seinfeld.
And you want Larry in those situations.
Yeah.
He about to make a meal out of this. Like, there was one, and it's just how real he is, how real of a prick he is, but he's not actually trying to be one. Like, there was one time,
it'd be too easy to write just like a regular prick. He's like a very specific kind of prick that it's like,
it's just what it is.
He's just being himself, but it's abrasive in some ways.
Well, it's a case of not conforming to what we assume to be good manners and respectability.
Yes.
For instance, there was a scene where the woman, they've gone to a play and whatnot, and they invite them, you guys want to come over for dinner on Friday. Every couple's response is fantastic. Then you spend most of the week trying to figure out how to get out of it. Or even them thinking, I hope they didn't think it was, 100% committed to dinner. Yeah. But rather than play that game, Larry's like, we'll think about it.
I remember.
And now they're insulted because they're not getting a definite yes.
Yeah.
We're getting we'll see. Which is fine, because it's like, why would I commit to that if I don't want to?
Yeah, he's actually honest in a world full of liars.
Full of liars.
And he's direct and transparent in a world full of like sugarcoating
and then and being respectable and stomaching things that you don't want to.
Yeah.
For instance, he goes to a Palestinian calf, even though he's Jewish, because the sandwich is good.
Bro, there's an episode. There's a couple of episodes of Seinfeld. There's one where basically he basically, like, Jerry does this. Jerry gets a favor from this guy, and it's the guy is basically like, Jerry's like, how can I pay you back? And he's just like, don't worry, you just owe me one. And that is basically held over his head for the entire episode. Absolutely. To the point where you're just, it's like the extent.
Paid.
Yes, I wish I could have just paid you. You see what I'm saying? But the way that guy uses that, holds it over his head, like, just take me out to dinner. Or just, blah, blah, blah. And bit by bit, it just creeps more and more. Or there's another one where he gets like this ugly shirt that he's supposed to go wear on TV. And because of like the social pressure of not upsetting the person who made the shirt, it's like he ends up having to wear this really ugly shirt on for a TV performance. And I'm like, that's what they got did very well. They got all the social cues, all the politeness and etiquette and so on, and they just flipped
even
it on
the wife in Curb, not his wife, his agent's wife, who curses a minute. And she says, I don't curse like this in normal life. Yeah. And it's a shame because I see the struggle coming already. When you get close to when you enjoy a character like that, all you want her to do is swear. And you get tempted to just literally F-bomb it down.
But you know that it was improv.
Of course.
Yeah, cool. So
not necessarily improv, but they loose, had very loose.
They had like bits you had to hit. Yeah. They had like, you need to get to this line.
Yeah. But everything else, and I liked that loose feel. Yeah. Because she'd be like, fuck you, Larry. And that's it. Like, he was just, so rude. Yeah. But he never took offense to her thingy.
And I feel like that's the strength of writing good characters and having good talent. Because now it's like, once you know the character, you start steering it and so on. And you're really reacting in real time. and the combination of those two talents, write good, strong characters, write good plot lines, and then trust the talent to take it where it needs to go. Fantastic.
Oh mate,
man.
he's very consistent with some of his because a lot of his character, a lot of his friends are in show business as well in Hollywood, and they're all snobbish in their own way.
Yeah,
like he throws the rubbish into Ted Danson's bin. Ted Danson comes running out. What are you doing, Larry?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean what I'm doing?
It sounds like we were talking about Friday last week, and it's like, they have the same concerns where, like Craig was just concerned about the kids kicking over the bins.
Yeah,
it's
Chris
like
got you too.
These are just human concerns
in the neighborhood,
and they've managed to like obviously make a big deal out of these small interactions.
When my parents moved to Essex, their neighbor was giving them, stress over parking space.
Wow.
First like few days, you know how these.
Is it where they live now?
Yeah.
There's hella parking space on that road.
But before it was just he was just being extra. But their neighbors are Nigerian now. You could park on their land, they won't even care. That's how Nigerians are.
Park. We coming back. Come back.
But here's the funny thing, because it just shows, and I'm not even saying there is a racial element to it, but he was just an arsehole.
Yeah.
But the next day after he got into it with my dad, he built a fence between my dad's yard and his. But Ola, the fence was so good, it presented 2 parking spots for us. So I was like, did you go over there and thank him? Go over there with some thank you for the fence. And I just thought to myself, I mean, racism gets motherfuckers really proactive, boy.
For real,
because
man.
There's no much hate there's not enough hate in me for me to build a fence.
Bro, he was on his Donald Trump. He was like, build that wall.
Bro, do you know what? How much you must not like people to go online, research the fence, bring it home, unpack it, do the deal. By the way, Ola, we didn't see him build the fence.
Bruh, in the dead of night.
Dead of night, rude boy. Do you know what kind of passive aggressiveness that is?
Bro.
But the funny thing is, the wife ends up kicking him out and she moves out of the flat and the Nigerians move in. They take the fence down within 2 days.
Mad.
Because they want that community spirit. But Pastor, there's no need for this kind of fence. Because my dad was already helping marriage disputes within 2 days.
Look at life.
But that's how we are.
Look at life.
Look at life.
So that guy basically, they got divorced and then
the woman got divorced from the husband and so she kicked him out. But she didn't take the fence down. But she moves out as well.
Yeah.
Because that area is becoming very Nigerian. And you know how it is. When black people move in, white people move out.
Okay.
So she moved out.
Yeah.
And so a Nigerian family moved in next door. I'm telling you, Ola, within less than a week, they took the fence down.
My neighbors here in Nigerian as
They
well.
didn't want.
How do we find each other like this?
I don't know. And my
where
brother-in-law,
I was living before was a flat and downstairs was Nigeria.
my brother-in-law said to me, he said, Funmbi, when these Nigerians will watch, they're gonna be, inner. And he was right, because within 3 a week, my dad was settling a marriage dispute between them.
Wow.
But one thing I love about Nigerians is,
but he's the pastor, though.
He's a pastor, and they see him as the OG on the block, and we need that. That's actually a beautiful thing that my dad could step in there.
Yeah.
It is called community, and every time they see us today, you look like pastor. They're very good people. So I guess the lesson there is what I was getting at was, it's so funny how I looked at the fence and I was hella impressed.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, we could use racism as a motivational tool somehow. Get these motherfuckers working.
Get these young kids an apprenticeship or something.
Do you hate black people? Well, we have the career for you. You know what I mean? So
that's fantastic. Hey, big up your sister though, because we started off talking about her business, and I'm excited to see it. It's popping off.
Yeah.
Selfridges is a big look.
A good look. Yeah.
And yeah, man.
It's funny because she was saying to me how people say black people can't work together, and it's a lie. It's more time if you dig deep about those people that say black people can't work together. Yeah. Try working with that person.
Yeah,
it's not black people can't work together. We can't work with you. Remember how you were saying that the bad energy is not outside, it's you.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
we'll talk about people burning sage and that.
Yeah, it's burn yourself. And you know what, Ella? I realize every time you feed into that energy, so I don't like black people, so you can't work with black people.
Yeah,
it's really bad, man. It's really bad. I've been into Chinese restaurants and I've gotten shit. I didn't start going off at Chinese people.
I might have sometimes.
This is why you can't enjoy kung fu these days. It's like, relax, bro.
Yeah.
We base so much on blackness. It's like, relax, dude.
Do you know what it is? It's like, I feel like when it comes to black people, we have a very weird underlying competition going.
It's not,
and so
it's not weird or underlined. It's very apparent.
I mean, yes, it's very apparent in some ways, but sometimes maybe you forget. Maybe you just feel like, we're all on the same path here. But part of the problem is, I think a lot of our people have kind of come to the conclusion that they can't compete with anybody else, so they're happy to just kill it amongst black people. And so then they can't work with you because how are they going to stunt on you? If we all get this money together, then it's not really worth it for me. Because what they know is that what they feel like anyway, is that even if they work hard, they won't be able to stunt on the people in other communities. It just won't make sense that way. You see what I'm saying? Like, no, why people are going to be like, oh my goodness, he got a Gucci belt. Like, oh, what am I doing with my life? They're going to be like, and
that's
so...
not it though, is it?
But that's not what it should be. But that's what it is.
Are looking at Gucci belt saying, what am I doing with my life?
For real, bro, you'd be surprised. The stuff I'd ask him.
I'd be like, what, your trousers falling that low?
Bro, I hear people talking about get the Gucci belt, wear that on top of a leather jacket, bro. Wear the leather trench coat, put the Gucci belt on top of it. Like, people have to see the fact I got a Gucci belt. And I never really thought it was a big deal. But until I started hearing it and seeing it, I realized, no, people really out here trying to get a belt.
It's funny how you said that, black people.
Ain't even like a championship belt, ain't a world heavyweight title.
It's funny how you said black people feel like, we have to kind of stun on each other in some sense, because you're right. And I did say to my sister, I said, look, we're thankful for this W that this opportunity God's placed in our hands. But it's not now for us to now go on Instagram tomorrow with a white background and the ring light talking about, and this is how you get your products into this thing. What I did was I started on this journey. It's like superficial and not really giving gems more. It's more about, look what I've done, black people.
Yeah, humble bragging.
Right. I said it's not about for us to do that. It's honestly to really understand how we can build a brand and help other people in our that have the same skin color as us really want to put some work in. Yeah. My boy Daps does illustration. He does children's books, and his books are going off. Okay. He got a good publishing deal from the big boys. Yeah. And he's doing bits, and he was an illustrator. Yeah. And when he was on Instagram trying to connect with other illustrators, the same black people, we would give each other air. Yeah. Because we don't think we can get anything from you. Yeah. The moment he popped off, the same people came back. And he wasn't even salty about it. What disappointed him was they weren't ready for the work.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame.
They wanted to stardom, but they didn't want to put in the work.
Hey, you know what would be dope? Is if he does a book about your sister's doll characters.
Oh, they've been talking.
Oh, okay.
I'm dropping
gems on the pod.
Hey, and I'm gonna show you this. This is why you have to understand the silent grinder.
And it's chess, not checkers. That's a move.
The silent grinder makes the most noise, bro.
Woo!
Like the silent grinder, he will make the most noise in the end.
I usually name
don't do this.
I usually name the episode after the Tupac quote, but that
we ain't even got to that yet.
We ain't even got to the silent grinder.
Will make the most noise because
makes the most noise.
Yeah, because my sister and Dee used to do pop-up shops where they would do the pop-up markets where they would get other black businesses to come together and they'll sell dolls. People are selling beads. He's selling his little drawings, right? And they'd been discussing doing something then. Now they're on two separate platforms where he's got this and he's got that. They can come together on a more proactive level. But I say that when I say the silent grind, it's like people will see the dolls on Selfridge's website and be like, whoa, but she made these dolls 5 years ago. I'll give you another backstory. When she was making the dolls, she used to help influencers saying, can you please, here's a doll, open it up and, just share it on your profile. She said no one got back to apart from one. I'm not going to say the one is because, but it's a good person. I said that person said, yeah. And they sent over the doll and she opened it and promoted it on her channel. And she really appreciated it. And I told her, make sure you send her one to say thank you. Because you don't forget those moments. Because everybody talks.
Someone knocking the door?
I thought someone was knocking the door, yeah. But
hello, who's there?
I think they quit. It's probably Dara. But Ola, what I say that to say, and what I'm trying to get at is the journey's real, man. And even the influences that aired her, you don't take it personal. Yeah. We've been there. Yeah. It's funny, my sister telling me all these things, I'm like, I know how you feel.
Bruh.
She's like, Funmbi, I'm scared, I'm nervous. Like, yeah. That's good. Yeah. You see me, I'm scared every day. Every time and the funny thing is, when I tell my sister I'm nervous or I'm scared, they'd be like, why? You've done this a million times.
You be having the biggest gems for everybody else, but when it comes to you,
you don't realize it. The same tricks.
Bro, do you know what? Yeah, it's like there's many times where I realize this. There's times where like you talk to me about someone else's marriage, for example. I got all the advice. I'm like, the Bible says,
right,
blah, blah, blah. Right. And then when it's my turn, I'm like, I can't do it. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You get squabbles. You're like, I know better than this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know better than this, but at the same time, you're still Ola.
For real. And even when it comes to like careers as well, because like I can look at your comedy, I'll be like, Funmbi, that material, oh my god, Funmbi's gonna make it, bro. This is dope. What are you doing, bro? Hey, get out of here, man.
Giving me points how to sharpen it, but you forget you've got that skill.
When all the lights are off and it's me in front of the computer editing my own video, I'm like, hey, this is why am I even putting this out?
You know what, man?
This is terrible, man.
You know what I started doing? Because writing the second draft became a chore. Because I'm trying to beat the first draft so badly. All I should be doing is literally copy and pasting, taking little ideas and fine tuning. But I'm trying to whoop this first draft ass on some Hulk Hogan shit. I'm stressing.
Yeah.
So you know what I started doing? Because getting to the laptop, Ola, was a lot, man.
Oh my goodness.
I'm talking, you open it up, you're already heavy breathing. It's like, bro, I ain't even typed and yet.
Bruh.
Right? So I started gassing myself as I'm working, hyping little words. Woo! Did I write that punchline? Even if I don't believe it's that great, I hyped it to the maximum because I said, I have to be on 100. Because by the time I finish this work, you're probably going to be on 20% of love for it in terms of internally. Because you've read it so many times. You've written it so many times.
Yeah.
So you have to keep on gassing it. And it's like the wife. If you don't look at your wife, I'm not saying every day, but if you don't always try and look at like the first time you saw her twerking in the club, you will miss it.
Who? What?
You remember that time when Bashman came out and you saw, you're like, oh, and you got the little wine. Now, don't get me wrong, she's mummy now. She don't cook, she don't wash her drawers. That vibe is not the same, but you always have to go back to that little image every now and then. Remember, she was that same bad girl on the dance floor. You got to remind yourself that.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just to keep that spark going. Come on, man, if you walked past the missus and you didn't think, I'm going to tap that ass tonight, something's wrong. And I'm not saying every day, but I'm just saying a couple of days where you're like, oh.
No, I know what you're saying, bro. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. But I also know how easy it is to just get to that point where it's like,
let's kill him off. Yeah, I know, bro. I know. But I know how it is when you just a high five is good enough these days. Like, you good, I'm good.
You know what I'm saying? Or what happens is like you come with that energy and it's not reciprocated. It's like
I was talking about this to my female friends the other day, and women were like, they were listening to. It's funny how some of my friends listen to so many other podcasts, but not mine.
Hey.
But that's not an issue because I understand in life, your friends. Hey, to all our listeners, your friends are not your fans; they're your friends.
Facts.
Find your fans.
Because the amount of people that came out the woodworks, like, oh, I heard you on Free Shots, and like, you need to be telling us when stuff like this is coming out. I'm like, I tell you guys, got a podcast. Every week, like every week, I tell you I got a podcast.
They were more excited about me on the 3 shots,
of course.
Which again, I get. I started to understand that long time ago. My friends don't make me pop; it's my fans. Because I know the funniest thing, Ola. You get fans DMing, you know, I love your work. I want to promote this for you, but you look at it like, okay, yeah. But if your friend doesn't do it, you're like, why is someone just did that for you?
Yeah, nah, to be honest, now, bro, I'm thinking the other way around. Now I'm like, you know, when people go into KFC, they're not like, oh yeah, Colonel's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like Colonel Sanders, we go way back. Anybody can look at a KFC storefront, look at the adverts on TV, look at the pictures and go, I want to go buy into that. And I'm like, that must be when your business really becomes a business.
Absolutely.
When somebody who doesn't know you objectively looks at your product, your service, whatever it is, and says, I want to go in on that. So now, when people come out the woodworks, I value that even more now than the friends. Because I know sometimes the friends are doing it out of
loyalty, out of just, you know.
Yeah, like borderline obligation.
So you don't give me stress.
Yeah, they like, you know, sometimes they try and learn 1 or 2 lines to mention back to you next time.
Like even when I'm
of course I heard the episode when you were doing with the Tupac quote. I heard it.
Even now, before I used to just let, you know, friends read my work.
Yeah.
Now I don't, because it's like, and it's nothing personal, it's just because I don't want you to just read it for reading's sake. And you can tell by the feedback people give you if they've really read your work or if they've just skimmed through it.
Bro, my wife don't even watch my content.
And here's the thing, you have to honestly stomach that. And another thing as well is this, I'm not even trying to marry or get with someone that finds me hilarious.
I needed to. I was like, nah, it needs to.
I would find the humor in when you're smashing the wife. You don't even find me funny, but it's dick all up in your mouth, though, huh?
Oh, come on, bro.
I like that little element of the thing, because the truth is, I need the missus to be the missus.
You try to eat. You try to.
I need.
I'm so impressed with myself. What I was about to say, I didn't even get around to saying it. Wow. I was about to say, you're like, oh, you like these gags, don't you? But Anyway,
because you got so excited about
I know.
Good you did.
That's what I'm saying. I was so impressed with myself.
I didn't killed the momentum of the joke.
I know, right?
If you'd done it with the £20 note like last week,
I know. With the
note,
that delivery was fantastic.
This one you got so.
But
how should I be right?
No, but it was just so perfect.
Right.
You like dick is all in your mouth.
Yeah, you enjoyed
know what I'm saying?
But you should have just literally said.
I should have said it then. But I was
you helping with these gags. I'm subconsciously. You know what I mean? You should have thrown that in straight away.
I should have.
But you came with your pat on the back.
No, I was really impressed with myself. I was like, how you no, Ola, you're still
sharp.
The
funny thing, I was watching The Crown today. It's last episode. I know, right? And
spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert.
I know, not even a spoiler alert. This is facts. This is out there. Princess Diana, God rest her soul. But she married the prince when she was 19.
For real?
And he was 33.
That's what she was still freshers then.
She was still supposed to be going uni raves.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
She's supposed to be on ACS.
There was an age gap between them, and her sister said this in the show. There was already an age gap between them.
Yeah.
But there's also he doesn't act his age and she doesn't act hers. So so the gap between them is not just age; it's almost colossal in the sense where maturity is different. His friends in class are different. Her friends in class are different, and they don't understand each other. Plus, he has a mistress, which is his love of his life, which is Camilla.
Yeah.
But in all of this, obviously, there's an unhappy marriage. Now, what they were saying was, and which is fact, Lady Diana, she did her thing.
I've been hearing
they
that
said
as
the
well.
Royal Kensington Palace was like revolving doors. I said, you ain't got to say it like
that. You ain't got to. You ain't got to do her like
the queen
that.
was like, okay. The queen was like, give it to me straight. And she was like, they said she's been with the bodyguard, her riding instructor. And I thought to myself, it's funny how all these people she's been with have some kind of innuendo. Her bodyguard. He was guarding that body. Her riding instructor. Oh, shit. What kind of instructions were those? I was just like, these names ain't really helping the cause.
Yo, imagine man still giving the instructions. All right, keep your core tight. Okay, stronger on the abductors.
But you know what the funny thing is? They must ride good because they ride horses and shit like that.
Bruh.
So, their riding game was on point. But what for me it was just, part of it is also sad that, I didn't know that the marriage was flawed from the beginning.
Oh, yeah,
There was no happiness. She had a lot of, extramarital affairs. I think he was just one. I think he was just Camilla.
Yeah.
But she was a young woman. All these men.
She was doing Hot Girl Summer, yeah?
Bruh. She was dating the best. A Pakistani doctor who was meant to be the love of her life. Dodi Fayed. Everybody was like, she had the Playboy dude who was like I think he was the race jockey, the riding instructor, something like that.
Okay.
And an air marshal as well, a military man.
Was that James Hewitt that everyone says is...
I think he's dead.
Yeah.
But she was with him for 5 years.
Mad.
But can you imagine that? Like, I'm petty, innit? Like, you couldn't be smashing the missus, and just because I'm out here with and we're just all going, we can't do that. We got to break up or sign.
But that's the thing, though. What are they supposed to do? Go on Jeremy Carr? Like, you can't really do anything at that point, because even if you air her out, you look dumb. If you try and divorce her, which they eventually got round to, it's still going to be a public scandal. Absolutely. So when you're in that life, it's almost like...
But none of their marriages worked, Ola.
Bro, tell me about it, man.
None of them. Not the sister, not the brothers. I think only Edward. But even Andrew, Duchess of York, even the Queen, although the Queen and her husband came to that agreement.
What was the agreement? I don't know how their marriage was.
He was feeling neglected, which is understandable because she's the crown, which is the biggest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
And so he had to adjust to that. But I think in that, loneliness comes in. And for men, if a man is lonely, he's not getting attention from his wife at home, you just need a girl with 3 teeth complete.
Yeah.
To say, hey, and you already ready to cheat.
Okay, so he was out here.
Oh yeah.
Prince Philip was out here in these streets.
I think he was smashing a ballerina.
Oh.
One of the top, But you have to understand as well, when you're a man like Prince Philip, Jay-Z, or any man of power, Bill Gates, women will come up to... I'm sure a woman's gone to Jay-Z and say, I want to smash you in front of Beyonce. On some, would you like her to watch type shit. And Jay-Z has to be like, girl, my wife is here. You just gonna say in front of my wife and anything?
Yeah, bro. She will smash you with Who Run the World girls playing in the background.
I know there's girls, and that's why you have to understand, like, when you're a man in that position, you have to know, as a woman marrying a powerful man, you have to be ready.
Yeah.
Because it's not as glamorous as you think. There's some women, like you said, there's women that will be riding him and say, I know Beyonce don't ride it like this. What are you gonna tell her? Get off. You be like,
hey, that's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful.
That's so disrespectful.
But you don't throw her off though. You don't throw her off though. You're like, oh, you wrong for this. But part of you is like, look at this girl I found. She's a devil. She a devil.
The mad moments where you're madly turned on, but you're like, but this ain't right.
This ain't. I failed as a man. For me to allow this disrespect. But that's what she's going for. You understand, Ola? That's how mad the game can get for you. So even men, as you're praying to be this rich guy, be careful what you wish for, because when you're on that business trip, and then when you go to Thailand and it's a state visit, you've secured a Netflix deal of 40 million. How do you think they end those deals? With a handshake and some champagne? All you hear is next when the door slides to their left. They got a woman from every continent.
You think about Rush Hour, bro.
You know what I mean? Like,
whenever they shoot them scenes, I always think about those girls. Like, you man were really standing here before they pulled the screen. You were all waiting here. Like, anytime now they go open the screen.
Right. And it's very, male. But even women have that,
But you reckon the Queen got hers in?
No. Not because simply because she was. They tried to show a past lover kind of relationship, but she was very old fashioned as a person.
Okay.
She didn't want to be queen.
Okay.
Her rules were around her dog. She wanted to raise dogs and be married to her husband. But the sovereign changed that, and it changed her.
Okay.
And so she became the queen.
Okay.
She based her life on it.
Mad.
So and she's not one for scandal, because that's the biggest threat to
the crown. I mean, their whole thing is PR. It's a PR exercise.
Everything. And you know what I learned every time, and this is for everything, civil rights, anything like that. Every time the system is challenged, it might lose a little bout or a round, but believe me, it's adjusting for the fight.
Yeah.
It's finding a whole completely different way to survive.
Yeah.
So every time you put down a fire of racism or police brutality, the system is working on something else as a defense mechanism, as a defense measure for what's next.
Yeah.
We can't all completely fail. So even with if you think about Chauvin, or whatever his name is, that got found guilty for George Floyd this week.
Yeah.
If you look at the Letitia Harlins, Rodney King to O.J. Simpson, similar events. Letitia Harlins gets shot by a Korean woman, 15-year-old girl. This sparks that riots in LA. Yeah. That's where it started from. But the woman got off. They didn't say nothing. Rodney King follows up, and they're bracing themselves for the verdict. What LA did as well at the time was they because at first they let them walk. They let them walk because they didn't think anything could happen. And next thing you know, that anger from Letitia Harlan spills over to Rodney King, and they set LA up in fire. Yeah. They bring out Rodney King to come and do the passive, can we all just get along? Yeah. And that kind of cures the flames. Yeah. And then OJ gets in trouble, and this time everybody is like, find this nigga guilty and let's see. I double dare you to find this nigga. I just want to hear G, and I won't. Like, niggas was ready to set it off again. If you fast forward to George Floyd, there was not not guilty was not an option.
Yeah, man. It felt like it. Like, come on, man. This one you have to. You just have to.
You have to.
Yeah.
Just let it. He was told you're gonna take the time for this one, simply because they knew if he was found not guilty or some bullshit loophole, it would have set off not unnecessary. And we're in a pandemic, so we're already broke. We can't afford damages on top of that,
bro. For real.
So he walks. He walks, but the system has observed, has learnt, and is adjusting to the new set of whatever.
Before we go down police brutality again,
but the Tupac quote that follows that.
Well, I was even going to ask you just before on the previous topic. Do you think you could have been Diana's side dude though? Like, would you?
Yeah.
Oh, you could have.
It's at that time, absolutely, because it wasn't about Diana. It was about sleeping with someone who was as important as her. There was a lot to be from dating someone like that. And in those circles,
What'd you get for doing that though?
You're dating Diana. That's just it.
What? Just bragging rights?
It's just there, bro.
Hey, Diana. Yeah. I had run through that 1 or 2 times.
Absolutely. I think there was an element of that for some of the men. For some of the men, they genuinely loved her. But the thing is this: she was such a figure that as a man, you couldn't escape that, because they all knew she was married. And they all knew she was married too.
That's my point, though. That's why I'm like,
but remember, these
to get into the mentality of like being the guy who creeps in and out the palace.
Yeah, but these men are not. She's not going out with your homeboy from the block. These men, their fathers are just as rich. They're from the same aristocratic, is that a word?
Aristocratic
background.
Yeah.
They're from the same corridors of power. So she's not just dating any Joe. She's dating men with power. She's dating men with wealth.
But even then, if I was that kind of guy, I wouldn't be creeping in and out the palace. I'd be like...
You don't keep in and out the palace. Only I think Hewitt was creeping in and out the palace because...
Okay, he was the riding instructor.
They were trying to... From what the show showed, they were trying to sort out their marriage. So he was creeping because... But I don't think it was creeping. I think it was public knowledge. They said it was like revolving doors. So the idea that they were keeping it... And you can't really... The press know about these things, but they can't release them. Simply because... You know, they lobby with them and we'll give you better story. We give you different stories. Yeah. But everybody knew. Everybody in Gloucester, because that's where Prince Philip and Prince Charles lives. Everybody there knew he was with Camilla. And they liked it that way. They just protected it that way. They never went home together. She lived in Kensington Palace. He lived in Gloucester. Mad. But to go to the Tupac quote, because we're not going to talk about Prince Patati because it's not like that. Yeah. But I was just thinking of what Park quote, you know, with what happened this week. And I just realized, you know how Park used to shout out the killings. That's why I need Latasha, many more. You know, rest in peace to Latasha, Lil Yummy, and Kato. You know, so he will say that, you know. So that imagine if he was alive today, he'd have to update that list because of the names that have come through. So it's like, for my George Floyd, I'm bringing all the noise. You know? He'll have to find a way to rhyme all this Trayvon Martin, putting them stars in, you know, because he just knew, you know, Sandra Bland, my gun's in my hand, you know. That's how Pac used to just ride it out. He'd have to figure out how to shout these names out
for real,
to keep the, you know, the movement going.
Kill a girl like Natasha.
Yeah, you know, right. Tell me why little Natasha had to die. You know, when I saw in the news that she bought the girl to Natasha, no, screaming, fuck the world. Yeah. Imagine how, because he said when I saw on the news how she bought the girl, if you saw how Natasha Hollins got killed, you would freeze.
I haven't seen it, you know.
It's on, you just type in YouTube, Natasha Hollins killing, it's CCTV footage, and you would freeze. Because you're thinking to yourself, there's no way that could have been possible. Imagine seeing George Floyd's one. But by the way, Natasha Hollins was closed circuit because there was no camera footage them times. We literally watched George Floyd executed on national television.
I mean...
So on our phone devices.
I mean, you said it was closed circuit.
So it was a CCTV footage from the shop.
Okay.
That picked it up. As opposed to a camera phone where we're watching...
Yeah,
George
we've
Floyd.
seen hella angles of it.
We've seen hella angles of George. But you know what? The thing that killed me the most... You could
cut it up cinematic if you really wanted to.
Oh, yeah, you could edit it. You know, the thing that killed me up the most was he had his hand in his pocket.
That I feel like that's part of what killed... of what, like, sent him down as well. Because if you look at that picture...
You're too casual.
It's too casual.
Too comfortable, bro.
You seem very... And I think, like, the technicality of, like, Murder 3 in that state... is that like you have to show like a reckless abandon for life,
right? And he showed that,
and he showed it. He showed like when the guy's screaming,
and he put it on. He was putting on a show for everyone. Like this is the strong leg of the law, basically.
Yes, and there's nothing you can do about it.
My friend said to me, the real hero was the girl filming. This is me, why? Because she filmed an incident. This is me. If she went over to the police officer and kicked him in the throat, now I would have called her a hero. Because I said to her, put yourself in this position, and I thank God our police are not as crazy as Americans. Because Ola, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't watch someone related to me have an officer have his foot on his neck, and he's saying I'm dying too. There's a lot of us dying that day,
bro. But here's the thing, like I feel that 100%, but then I also know that it's like when you get in that situation. Are you gonna really follow through with what with how you feel? Like,
it depends on how you.
Are you fly kicking that officer in the head?
Absolutely, man. I saw my cousin slap a police officer because she put her hands on her mum.
Wow, slap a police officer.
Yeah, she slapped him and in the face because she put hands on her mum. Because he put hands on her mum. Listen, did you see that video of the black woman on the train? And she's trying to read her newspaper, and the white dude snatches it and throws it on the floor.
Yeah.
Again, I said to myself, I couldn't watch that. I'm snatching his newspaper.
Do you know what I'm saying? If it's a guy like that, just a regular guy, 100%, I get it. But when you see the police and you know that like they're gonna outnumber you very soon, you know they've got weapons on them, and you know that the law's always forever gonna be in their favor. I just feel like there's a freezing that will come over you that you wouldn't want to.
Not now. Not now because it's too much. Look at Stephen Lawrence, man. Today's Stephen Lawrence Day.
Golly.
And he was killed and the police protected him. Protected the killers.
Protect the killers, yeah.
So, you know, when you see all of those... Again, Stephen Lawrence, the reason why we feel it so much is this. What's the difference between you and I and Stephen Lawrence? You've come home from those ends at some time of your night as well.
Yeah.
You know? And listen, man, do you know how painful that would be? To make my friend a hashtag. For the rest of my days, all I see is hashtag RP, my G.
Bro.
And that's what one of that girl said when that white guy was harassing that black kid in his neighborhood, where black people came the next day and they said Black Lives Matter gathered. I was like, you know, it's just a bunch of black people. Like, not every black gathering is Black Lives Matter. It's just neighbors and shit.
Yeah.
But she said I didn't want him to become another hashtag.
Bro, that was one of my punchlines.
Yeah.
About, you know, getting stopped in America by the police. I felt like, you know, just didn't want to. The guy was really nice to me because I had a British accent, had a UK license. And I was like, you know, clearly there's an element to which he wanted to do some differentiation and give me a different set of treatment, and I was more than happy to take it. But, you know, and this was like on the highway, so you could have shot me and no one would find me for days. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's vast desert space.
That shouldn't even be your thought process as a human being,
bro. But that's what it was. It was. Can you
really imagine police stopping your first thought is please don't kill me? That in itself will create a rage in you that makes you say, I hate the world. Bro,
right. I feel like what came over me at that time is pragmatism. You have to be pragmatic. It's about, like, get through the situation. But you know when as soon as it's over, you start punching air.
Like in Boys in the Hood. Yeah. Come on, motherfuckers, where you at? Yeah. But I can't be that. And you know what? We can't be that guy because that's that happened in slavery. Yeah, where the men will be belittled in front of their women.
Yeah.
By the drunk Scottish slave team leader of the day. You know,
he's not even Crash.
Yeah.
That scene hurts.
Where he's filling up your wife. But he's a bitch ass nigga though.
Of course he is. But I mean, like,
we dancing, baby.
But come on.
They had his wife was on it.
They had a couple officers holding him though, didn't they?
No.
They just made him watch.
I'm asking you. There's enough police officers in the world to hold you while they're filling up your wife while she's being searched. There's not enough police officers to hold me. Not enough. It's just not enough.
They were like, you need to recruit some more.
Not enough. Not enough.
Man,
the thing is, this year, I'm a firm believer of if they want to see that.
The wife wasn't having it though.
She was disappointed in him.
Oh yeah, she was.
Because he wasn't saying nothing.
Yeah.
He was like, just be quiet.
Yeah. She wasn't having it. Like,
no,
you made it sound like she was like, oh, officer.
No, he was. I mean, him. Yeah. He was the one that froze.
Yeah.
Because he was afraid.
Yeah.
Of his position. But you see how that shit fucked him up. After he was ready to kill everyone.
Yeah.
Because he was just, tired, and that's the problem. When I was at me and my friend were going for lunch. I don't know if I told you about this last week. Me and my friend were going for lunch. And,
you be going for lunch? I don't see you as like a let's go for lunch kind of guy.
Yeah, I go for lunch. I go for brunch. I go for dinner.
Really?
Go for walks.
Hey, Funmbi, you just unlocked a new layer, you know.
Seriously.
I don't know why you said I went for lunch with my friend, and something in me was like, that doesn't sound like Fums. I don't know. I can't put it all together, but I just imagine like you get food. Yeah, not that you wouldn't grab food with somebody, but like, let's go for lunch.
Oh yeah, I like lunch dates, and
how come we never been for lunch?
With me and you?
Yeah.
You're not a girl.
Oh, okay, it's only female friends you go to lunch with.
Yeah, I hang with them and them.
That's why.
We do activities. We ain't about to go lunch. I haven't seen you.
We did grab a drink.
We do shit all the time.
We did get a drink one time and get some burgers and that after work one time in Canary Wharf. I remember that time.
Right.
That's like once though.
Bro. We've done pre-show, post-show.
We ain't really.
How many times did we gig together? To be fair.
Bro, we did Sunday service every week.
Yeah, but by the time we finish Sunday service, everybody's ready to go home. Bro.
I know, but I'm saying
on that.
I
know.
I
mean, I guess. Plus, you live far, bro.
True.
You don't live in England.
I
went for my lunch with my friend, and when we got to Dalston, this black guy had started showtime. He'd blocked off a car and was hyping to the occupants of the van, just hyping on some hype shit. And we looked at him, we could see in his face, we could see that tiredness of that blackness, just that tiredness.
Yeah.
And you know what? Y'all want to see a show today? Get your tickets ready. He was ready for showtime, but because he's tired. Yeah. And that energy is not about that car even.
Of course.
It's not even about that guy. Yeah. It's from wherever, where you've been punching air for so long.
Yeah, man.
And that frustration of a black man or even a black person, even women, is dangerous because it comes out and it's so uncontrollable sometimes. You know when you feel like you've been getting butt fucked for so long and everyone's telling you we're not butt fucking you. You're lying. I can feel it in my ass, boy.
Hey, brother,
like someo's lying.
You really shouted that directly into the mic, my guy.
Like someone's mugging you off, but they're telling you it's not. It's rain.
Hey.
You know, and in that point, it's one softie that's trying to boy you. You let him have it.
I hear that, bruv. I hear it. And to be honest, it's like, you know, there was even a time where we were having that conversation and I just went off. I didn't like what our guy had said, but I went off.
Out thug life.
I didn't like it, and it was afterwards I had to be like it wasn't really. I mean, I didn't like that, but I didn't.
You know what you had to appreciate as well, though. You did it in a safe space. Because you know what? I didn't try that. You know, I didn't even think about that.
Nice.
But the reason why I said that is because Mila saw that, and even when he saw that, he was like, "That ain't about me." And that's the beauty of a friendship, because some people will now bark back.
Yeah.
I was more like, "Oh shit, should I get the gun?" Or I didn't know how deep into the thug life you were going. But again, I felt like you had to have that moment. I feel like people should be allowed those moments.
Yes. I feel like you should be allowed to turn the sort of steamer on and let the pressure out, or whatever that term is.
And you came back humble as well. And I do that. I mean, I do that a lot. I don't know if you know me. Bro. I throw.
What do you do? I don't know if I know you, bro.
Right. And I call you back 3 minutes. Listen, man, I was going
like, hey, come on, you know me by now. Hey, you know me by now.
Sometimes, yeah, I don't even apologize softly. Bro, you know I'm emotional. You know,
the best is when you start with the compliments, and you'll find a way to work it back in. So like there was a time when we were writing on Witten Day, and then we got into some kind of conversation. You're like, "Hey, but you see, that's the thing. That's why we write such good material, bruv. You're a good writer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm passionate as well. So that's why I'm like, hey, it's
but
okay,
you know what?
And
I remember also when iron sharpens. I used to say to Jason, "Iron sharpens iron."
Yeah.
And I remember when iron is sharpening iron, sometimes sparks fly.
Of course,
of
course, that's it, man.
Because it's getting hot in here, you know.
Of course.
And so if you're creating something with someone and you can't knock heads and understand it's for the better of the project and not about egos and who's better and who's right.
Yeah.
I've learned that a lot, man, to let go. But it's also people you trust. If I don't trust a motherfucker, your opinion is irrelevant to me.
True. You know? I hear that.
If I don't trust you, your opinion is irrelevant to me. Even in my work. If I don't care about you or what you do, why do I care about what you think about my work?
Yeah, I hear that.
Also, I learned that, you know, if people don't create what you create, don't worry about what they think. They don't do what I can't play football. So me telling the footballer you should have passed, they'd be like this. What team do you play for? Huh? why you gotta go there though? So you gotta not worry about what other people think in that sense. If they're not in your world.
Yeah.
Ola, the moment I started writing comedy, doing comedy, writing maybe a short film or a script, I stopped bad-mouthing script writers.
Bro.
Even bad ones.
The same thing happened to me for when I started running Sunday service or doing Norbury Comedy Club and stuff.
Right.
I stopped bad-mouthing promoters because I was like, the amount of work that it takes to sell enough tickets to fill up the room, and you take on all the risk in order to make sure the comedians are paid a set amount. I'm like, nah, I respect it, man. I respect it.
When I just writing a scene.
Yeah.
How much it takes out of you to get a decent scene, what it takes out of you. I've written scenes where it took so much to put into the scene. I went to bed afterwards. But the story's not done, by the way. I just knew. I can't go for round 2. But I ain't got round 2 in me.
The way
I had to sleep. Like it whooped my ass to that point. You understand? Like I needed a break.
Oh man.
Have you ever been doing your work where you're writing your comedy to the point where it's getting so much, you leave the house? I'm done. I'm going out. Because if not, you drive yourself insane.
100%, bro. I'm with you on that one.
To the point where when people used to say, "Oh, Michael McIntyre is not funny," and I was like, try and do what he's done,
bro. Yeah, and I think it just kind of set me on a different path of like. Even if I don't like something, there's a certain amount of respect that I give, and I just kind of go, do you know what? I'd rather not comment on it. I don't want to get into that negative habit of just sort of always saying, oh, that's crap, that's not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a decided turn away from that because I started seeing that, yo, it's so easy. You know, think about it. This is how I feel about like when we do activism and stuff as well. Think about the skill set that it takes to look at the Shard and say that's an ugly building. Think about the skill set it takes
to look at the Shard.
Yeah,
and make it.
No, let's just say a house. It doesn't even. Yeah. Look at this house and be like, oh, this is an ugly building. Think about the skill set it takes to set the house on fire and burn it down, and then think about the skill set it takes to plan and build it.
Destruction's easier.
It's much easier. There's so many more critics and destroyers because it's such a low skill set. They don't have to train. You don't have to really like get good at burning buildings down or get good at saying that's crap. But to actually go do it, even if it is crap, the skill set required to actually physically like do the technical drawings, call the different contractors, bring the materials, build it, and all that stuff. That for that alone, I have to respect the skill set.
Bruv, my boy Jackson did a HAPPY video.
Yeah.
I said to him, this is the most ridiculous video I've seen in my life. But you wrote it, you produced it, you shot a music video with school and kids. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna say it's rubbish. You're missing the point.
Yeah, man. Bro, it's life changing, bro. If you start realizing that the skill set it takes to build is much different from the skill set it takes to tear down, your whole perspective shifts. And when you think about it in terms of like the activism that I was mentioning, anybody can say the system must change. Black Lives Matter. Protect
no justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
Protect black women.
A slogan is easy.
Apply it. Can
you get human beings to follow a set of rules that builds and doesn't destroy? Can you do that? It's easier to organize a protest than it is to build a company. Bro, think about it. Every time you look at a company, you're looking at an intense amount of planning, hard work, structure,
no sleepless
nights and whatnot,
commitment.
But protest,
sacrificing.
Protest happens just like that.
Yeah,
and people really feel like when they're at a protest, they are being constructive.
Well, I saw a girl post after the verdict. She goes, "Justice, now peace." I said,
and she really
now peace.
Do you know what I'm saying? After that, she went to bed, bro.
she did a free throw. She ended it with this, with her twiddly fingers. Whoopsie! She said, "Kobe."
She was like you when you finished the script, and she was like, "I have to go out.
I'm done.
I'm going out.
We won. She said, "Justice and
now peace." Yeah.
I saw it and I said, I can't comment on this.
Well done, sis.
Well done, sis.
Well done.
You did it.
Do you know how hard it is to build a police force? Do you know how hard it is?
And you really think they're gonna fall apart by you saying no justice, no peace? You really think you're gonna? You know when they say we have to disarm the police or defund the police?
Yeah, I've even seen abolish the police now.
Right.
All right, but okay. So
try it.
What's the real thing?
Try it. Right. When the police start showing their real power, when you start seeing the real eyes behind racism, you see Derek Chauvin, whatever the killer's name is, he's the fall guy.
Of course.
You understand what I mean?
What do you mean?
He's not the mob boss. You didn't get the mob boss.
No.
You got the guy that said, "Hey, give him Tony." Give him Tony. Tony knows what to do.
Tell Tony will look after his family.
Tony will look after his family. He can 20 years upstate. Take care of the family. You don't talk. You come out. You good. And he comes in 15 years. He's got a nice little spot. You don't have to work no more. That's what you're watching.
Yeah,
They're giving you the fall guy.
Facts. And to be honest, it's not to say that, you know, because something was hard to build, it's perfect and should be left alone. No, things should be worked on. But you have to get into the mindset of a builder to understand how to build, not in the mindset of a destroyer or of a complainer.
Also, if you get into the mind of a builder and you know what it takes to build something, you will understand why they will fight tooth and nail to preserve it.
Facts!
Because the American system was not built last week. They spent years building these constitutional laws. And they'll be damned if a bunch of black people just walk in and say, change it.
Can you imagine?
Just change it.
Can you imagine? And do you know what? Do you know what the real tell is? The real tell is the unwillingness most of us have to try and resolve things in our own countries of origin, right?
Yeah.
And this is a tough part to get to.
Yeah.
But when you see the way Nigeria is, you can say from a distance, this is wrong and it needs to change, and that's fine. But when you get to like a place where they've given you a bit more freedom, they give you the illusion that you're more incorporated, you're more amalgamated into the society.
You're more, what's it called? Integrated.
Integrated. That's the word I was looking for.
The British.
That's where you start
dream.
showing out. That like,
oh my God!
Yeah, this
we
is
just
what
said.
I do.
My sister makes dolls. She gets onto something. All of a sudden, now it's how black people need to come. What black people need to do to get to these levels.
Yeah.
And you're just like, slow down.
Slow down.
You
exactly.
just started last week, bro.
So this is what I'm saying. That like, if you really had what it takes to build better, you would go and do it where you could do it, right? Because most people know they have way more opportunity for them in Africa if you're originally African than you do in the West. But they would much rather keep going at the West because the West is an opportunity to complain and to say this needs to be changed and so on. And it's just easier to do that.
But I said, Dr. Shola was spewing so much about the royal family and protecting Meghan Markle and whatnot and how this is racism. But there's no light in your country of origin. The healthcare in your country of origin is disgusting. Women are still second-class citizens. They're not doing great in terms of just having a say in that country, down to even just looking after their bodies or being responsible. Rape culture is still a massive joke in Nigeria in the sense of your husband say you rape him, you are wicked. You understand?
How can you say like that?
So that's what the woman said. She said the joke was this year. The woman went to the police officer, said my husband raped me. He said your husband raped you, you are wicked. How you take rape you? Basically, how can your husband rape you? So all of those things are still in the mindsets of men or whatever. But you're here fighting a cause that you're never gonna win.
I mean,
you're never gonna infiltrate the royal family. You're never gonna sway their opinion.
I think we've done a good job of making it seem like people who have the ability to complain and the ability to destroy are
the voices.
Not even the voices, but like we've given them the idea that they're actually being constructive, and what that is like it's a form of it's like a form of masturbation. It's like we're gonna give you like all of the we're gonna give you like all of the action of it. You're gonna get your release, but you're not gonna produce anything. No, you're not gonna be satisfied. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
You will be satisfied, but it's quick nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's instant gratification.
Exactly.
It's a quick nut.
Exactly.
So this verdict here is a quick nut.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that every quick nut you sacrifice a lot.
100%.
You miss a lot in the background.
Yeah. Now you getting it, bro.
Do you see what I'm saying? For that quick nut, like I said, the system I prefer I quote rap in it.
Yeah.
Biggie said, "Don't you know bad boys move in silence and violence,
bro?
Why do you think they always mention silence? Because when you're too loud, people know exactly what you're going to do."
Lil Wayne said, "Real G's move in silence like lasagna." And I was like changing that to real G's moving silence like Bajabia Miller.
Real G's moving silent like Benga. Just the whole Nigeria. Real G's moving silent like
baby.
Just anything with GP. It's so good.
GB in
Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Like lasagna.
Lil Wayne be making the mad connections though.
But it's a dope one though. Come on, man.
You know what it is?
The G is silent in lasagna, bro.
But the G is also silent in so many other things.
But it's a bar. Come on, man. It's a bar. Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Real killers moving silence like knife.
But if we
real K killers.
If the slang for killers was K's, then it would be a bar though.
Right.
If he's a real K's moving silence like knife.
And they knife man's up. Anyway, but I hear what you're saying in the sense where, remember we said that time a few years back, we said we need to learn how to be quiet.
100%.
Like, we just put our plans out on Twitter. Remember when Chappelle said we celebrated the verdict of, what's his name? OJ Too Loud. Yeah. Soon as it, in your face, oh, it burns and it burns. Oh. And then white people became hard. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
George Floyd got the verdict. We damn near peeing on the walls. Meanwhile, people are still getting killed.
Bruh, and do you know what? I said this one time, and I say it every once in a while in like specific places. But a big part of this is the fact that we make all our plans in English.
Yeah, you said so.
We make a language. We don't have a unifying language. You know, if Chinese people want to make a plan, right? If they all speak Mandarin, they can make that plan right in front of you. You could be there. You wouldn't have time to protest what they're doing. Be like, why are you guys plotting and planning like this? But the thing is, all of our plans are made in English and we put them online. And then we're somehow surprised when we get intercepted and all of our plans never come together. We're like, how is this happening? My goodness. We wanted to build a black community. We wanted the money to circulate in our community. And somehow, every single time, our businesses keep getting shut down.
I find that the excitement is in more of the complaints than it is the action.
That's my point.
Everybody really just jumps on this. Justice has been served now. Hopefully this is a sign of things to come. And it's like, how can it be a sign of things to come if you're not doing anything to push things to come?
Do you know what I also believe? I think it's also, I think because I don't think we've had strong men in our community for a while. I don't think we've championed results and building. We've championed more feeling better and being nurtured, which is motherly, and it's needed, it's important, but there needs to be balance. And I think, you know, as a parent, I see that my wife's tendency more with our children is to make sure they feel good, to make sure that they are soothed and okay, and mine is more to challenge them to be better. I mean, maybe not the baby right now, but like,
you're already challenging your son.
Small.
How you ain't reading, dog?
No, but like I put my hand on his feet and he likes to like push it like he's doing leg press in the gym. And I'll be like, yeah, okay, there, you getting strong there, little boy.
That's good.
And with my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I will challenge her. I'll be like, no, you need to do better in this. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to provide her with structure, discipline, and I'm trying to put order in her life, right? And that's not always going to feel good, but it's necessary to get the results, right? So what I'm saying is that if we constantly remove the masculine elements from our society and our community, we're going to have a bunch of people doing stuff to feel good. Men and women. It's not just about men or women at this point. Men and women are going to seek what feels good.
But I don't believe...
But they're not going to do what needs to be, like the tough stuff, the stuff that doesn't feel good.
But I don't believe we need to raise our families according to a society. We're all individuals.
You really think so?
Absolutely. I don't care how you raise your own kids. I just care how I raise mine. But I don't care how you raise your kids.
Your kids are going to go to school with mine. And if yours ain't raised right, then my kid could end up being stabbed or whatever it is. Like,
not in that sense. In the sense where there is no society way of a collective way of raising these children that works for everybody.
There needs to be.
Because not really, because we all have cultures and backgrounds that and religious beliefs that influence how we raise our children.
Yeah.
So the fact that white kids don't say auntie and uncle or don't greet their parents by any other means that already we're looking at them from a different angle of, one, they respect or they're not respectful, but they show respect in different ways.
Yeah.
And our culture, respect is sometimes too much.
So
some people don't earn it.
And I agree with you.
Right.
And I'm saying that what you're describing there is a problem of that maybe, or let's say like a hiccup of multiculturalism because you're trying to blend different cultures together. But if, let's say, you lived in somewhere that was more monocultural, then there wouldn't be a problem so much as like different people have different. It'd just be a case of, this is our standard. When you see elders, you bend down and greet them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but what is necessary, even in this country, and in it, we do have it here, is at least a base standard of conduct, right? So, regardless of what faith you are in this country or what ethnicity you are, they say that like you can't beat your children until you leave a mark. That doesn't probably protect us as black people.
You can't beat your children. What?
You can't beat your children in England. You can't beat your children to the point where it leaves a mark.
Okay.
Right? That doesn't properly protect us.
That's not good enough for children, though.
But the whole point is that you can spank them, but there's a limit, right? Now, clearly, my mom left some marks on me.
Well,
right?
There's a limit. Or like cell phone minutes. Free on weekends.
You can get one smack, two smack. You're like, I'm seeing a mark coming up here. You're lucky. The mark is coming up. I have to stop.
When you say your mom left marks on you, though, it's not that she left marks on you. I think your skin just over bruised or whatever.
Nah, she left marks.
What did you do? My mom never left marks.
Why are you victim blaming, bro? The stuff that my mom did was not okay.
Okay.
It's only now that I'm older that I could look it back and be like, that wasn't okay. But it's normalized because there's no accountability for parents in our culture.
To be fair, I mean, it all depends because my mom could never leave a mark. My dad would kill her.
Well, there you go. See, that was one of the things that I really observed growing up, and I said it to my mom when we had a conversation earlier on, which is that part of the reason why I kind of understand why she did certain things, because she had no balance force. Like, a lot of the time, it was her as a single parent.
She was the man and the woman.
As much as one can be.
And she figured, I guess, for that man, she had to be extra firm.
And not only that, you ain't even got like a little guidance or a boundary or a balancing force to be like, okay, no, you're taking it too far. It's literally just as you feel, right? So in that situation, there are many things she did that were not okay if we were to look back at it later. And I know it's not okay because if she was to watch me do it to my daughter, she would be like, no.
She jumps in.
Exactly.
They don't let you have your fun. My dad treats my nieces and nephews like
bro,
they do nothing wrong. No. We didn't smack you like that. This is
what do you mean?
He tried to hang me from a tree,
bruh.
But they forget all that,
bruh.
Which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But I think
that's their joy when you become a grandparent.
I understand what you mean. It's interesting that we came up with that because it's like. Whereas my mum was the beater, my dad was the talker. Remember I said it in my set.
Yeah.
My dad will talk you to death.
Yeah.
To the point where you go to my mum, listen, I done fucked up. Slap me a couple times, please, because Rugrats is coming on. I'm trying to see the season finale. This nigga gonna ruin it with a 3-hour convo.
Not Tommy and Chucky.
I ain't really ready for that right now. Because my dad will talk you to death.
Yeah.
To the point where you're like, listen, I want to slap.
Yeah.
So that was the balance they had. But if my mum was beating you, my dad could allow it, but he would never let it get overboard because my dad's very protective of his children. My mom believes she should not be able to knock you out.
Okay.
But she's still the nurturer.
Okay.
My mom's very short with patience.
Yeah.
So you're right that you need that balance of a parent.
You do need that.
There's someone to just interject and say.
And I feel like the society needs that as well. Okay.
So because my mom will sometimes just say, "I'm going to tell your dad," and we're panicking. And I look back now thinking, am I panicking because of the beating, or was I panicking because I don't want to hear this nigga talk?
Yeah. To be honest, I've often wondered about that because at the same time, you don't want to become like the boogeyman for your kids, but at the same time, if that's the role I need to play, and it's like you ain't gonna like me as much or whatever it is, but I'm gonna get the structure and the discipline in place, I'll much rather see you grow up to be well adjusted and have those results than for me to be your best friend and be cool dad or whatever.
Well, you know what? I said it to it's funny because as a comedian, as a creator, every aspect of your life you explore for content. Of
course, you mind and everything.
And I'm an uncle.
Of course, yeah.
And I've got nieces and nephews. Yeah. And I observe how parents, my siblings are with their children and friends and whatnot. And I said to my sister the other day, I said in front of a bunch of parents, I was like, this is why you love children. You love your kids because you can't like them. They're not likable people.
They're not.
What do you mean? They don't listen. They ask stupid questions. These are not likable people.
I have a real belief that that's the reason why babies are cute.
Because if they weren't cute, they'd be sold. But here's the funny thing, that's not even right.
Yeah, I know. The funny thing, I was about to say you'd punt them, bruv. You drop kick them into the oblivion.
You'd swap. Like collector cards, like the baseball cards. Listen, you got the terrier ones. I got the.
How many half chickens can I get here?
You've been giving 5 babies, so 1 Kobe Bryant type vibe. But I say that to say because. And just to kind of go on what you said in terms of, I'm not here to be your friend, bro. Because I don't like you anyway.
Yeah.
I love you. Which trumps liking.
Yes.
Because the reason you're even in this house is because I love you.
Yeah.
Because more time, I could be raving right now.
Yeah.
But I've sacrificed time to make sure you're a well-adjusted person. So you don't have to like me, bro.
Exactly.
Because I got people I already like.
Exactly. I got friends. I got enough friends.
That's why we put you to bed at 7, so I can spend time with people I actually like.
That's why I do boys' quarters, man.
Right. So I can spend time with people I like. Yeah. When I spend time with you, understand, it's love.
And you know what it is? The like who ends up coming afterwards anyway.
But forget that. When they hit 20s and onwards, they love you.
Of course.
Once they hit adulthood.
Yeah.
Listen, my parents are sources of wisdom now.
Yeah.
They're still getting on your last nerve. But you see sacrifices they made.
Yeah.
You realize, I remember I told you when I came home one time, the lights were on in my flat. I said, why are the lights all on? But when I was a kid and my dad used to come on, why the lights on in this house? I'm like, nigga, relax. It's just the lights. I'm trying to watch TV, fam.
Nah, for real. Like now.
But when I started paying electricity bills, I said, I'll blow out candles. But my cell phone light is not allowed to be on, just in case it adds to it. You be reading things. Unplug your TV and unlock because it takes. But I'll be doing all of that.
Bro, you be like Teddy Pendergrass is in there. Turn them off.
Lights. Light a candle. If they don't think you listen, Teddy, holla at you. Turn them off. You know the worst part? I didn't know who Teddy Pendergrass was at the time.
No.
But his reenactment was so spot on.
It's fantastic.
I just figured this is probably what he sounds like.
But you know the run over to the switch and then at the end just like...
Oh my God.
That gets me every time.
This. When he unscrewed the bolt and he was looking, I know you make sure that goddamn light out. That's when I start to appreciate. It's so funny. You were talking about this the other day, the writer versus the performer. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you've written.
Yeah.
Running to the light to switch off the switch is fire.
It's fire.
Then unscrewing the bulb is killing me.
Oh, yeah.
You can't express that through words. Bruh. You just have to act it out.
Yeah.
You know, or when he's eating the sunflower seeds at a wedding. It's a cold ass wedding, dog. Have you noticed at one point, yeah, his eyes was focused on the order.
Bro,
just those details. And you know what it is? Oh, like, he didn't have to maintain that.
Hey, we're talking about Cedric there.
Yeah, check now. And Kings of Comedy, by the way.
Yeah.
He didn't have to maintain that.
I know.
For that long.
Bro, he milks that bit.
Yeah.
Beautifully. It was at the right amount of time. Like, at any point during the set, he could have just been like...
Yeah, and you know, by the way, he didn't do that for the whole set. He didn't know callbacks with it, but for that brief moment, it's a cold-ass wedding, dog. It's a cold-ass wedding. You know, it's that. Because he's saying, you know how it gets in your mouth.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to say all that. He just acted it out for you.
But I've never ate sunflower seeds. But watching that set, I know what it is.
I know how black people can be at parties.
Yeah.
I guess our equivalent would be eating the bone or something like that. You're just trying to, you're at the party, but you're still trying to suck the bone, but with some kind of class. And it was just his attention to detail.
Yeah.
And so, like you said, it takes the maturity of doing what you've been doing to look at things. I remember, now our conversations, we call up and we express how much we enjoy creativity.
Yeah.
As opposed to why is this guy popping and he's not funny.
Yeah.
I remember you started pushing that energy away, like, more power to them. Because what do I gain from shutting down everyone's
100%.
movement?
Nothing, man. Nothing. And that's back to that builder's mentality again. It's like now that we focused on building scripts, building a podcast, whatever it is, you starting to put your energy towards something that's creative. You start realizing, okay, this actually takes way more work than saying, I don't believe that person deserves this opportunity.
And I think it was Felicia Rashad who plays Claire Huxtable in Cosby Show. She said it's easy to criticize people's work.
Of course.
That's why she doesn't do it. She goes, if someone gives me their work, all I try and do is give them pointers.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, it doesn't matter how I feel.
Yeah.
If you give me your story, it's not for me to say I don't understand this or I'm not sure if I would like this. I don't care if you're not writing it for me.
Exactly.
You came to me to say, what do you think? Even if I don't see a story, my best feedback would be, listen, bro, I see what you're trying to do. You need to try and figure out it this way.
Yeah.
But don't shut down the project.
And do you know what it is? The next time you're trying to give real constructive criticism, realize how much harder you're working. Because now when you're trying to help the person solve the problem with the script, for example, you're like, how could you even say that? And now you start thinking, now you become more pensive, now you relax, you humble yourself, you start going,
now you're working with him.
You could have, the first level is, I don't like the script. But the moment you start going, I think if the character came at it this way, which is constructive,
you're
now
giving solutions,
building.
Then you're giving him options.
You humble yourself, you start doing the work.
I hate it when people just tell me what they don't like. It's like that doesn't help me.
That doesn't help anybody.
It doesn't help anything. You just tell me what you don't like.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I sent the clip of the airport sketch we shot. Bear in mind, I knew what this sketch was because the moment you sent it to me at the hospital club, I said to myself, how am I going to pretend to Ola that I like this?
Bruh.
That's what I felt in my spirit.
Bruh.
Because, again, we are so not good enough for the world. We have to shoot ourselves down. Ola, I watched this saying to myself, this was hilarious.
Yeah.
Almost feeling bad.
Yeah.
That we could actually write something hilarious.
Yeah.
So when we came to the point where we were going to post it on socials, I sent it to a girl just to get a feel because she wasn't married. I felt like she was going through that struggle. I just wanted to get her to say, hey, I relate. That's all I was looking for. I sent it to the wrong person. But she just came back with, this is her. Did you write this? It's me, yeah. Ola, when you send someone something here and their first response is this yours? You know, okay, all right. All right, she ain't like it. Okay, here we go. So she goes, did you write this? This is me, yeah. She goes, it was all right. I didn't think it was this. And told me you could have played something that, by the way, what she suggested, I didn't even find funny. So this is me.
Yeah.
Safe for that, man. And you know what? Because I'm where I'm at now, I said, Funmbi, post this immediately.
Yeah.
Post this immediately. You've got the first hater. You got to run with it.
Yeah.
Remember what Cat Williams said? If you got 10 bitches, you ain't figured out how to get 30 by the summer. I don't know what the hell you doing, bitch. Remember that routine?
Yeah, I do remember that routine. You doing the Cat Williams impression is what's cracking me up.
You know what, kid? I didn't even get the joke right because the way he said it. He goes, I can't listen. I'm not doing things with niggas that don't keep it pushing. If you've been selling weed for 10 years, you ain't figured out a way to bump to cocaine, then I can't fuck with you. People were like, right.
I know.
Like he was saying something real.
He was really moving like he was preaching on that one.
But
like,
can you see how you appeal to your audience?
Yeah.
He knew he was in his crowd. He said, look at the drug dealers in Atlanta, like, see you pimping. See you pimping. He knew he was in his audience. That's why when he said that, they fully understood. What he was saying was level up, fam, no matter what you're doing.
Mad.
This is him, you know. I got silk pill. I got Alizé. I don't drink no motherfucking Alizé, but bitches do. And girls are like, right, bitches do be drinking Alizé.
I like Alizé.
When he said he had sick pillows in his house in case women don't want to wear head tie, this is me. This nigga has tucked the front row with that game,
bro.
And so I say that to say, you know, when she said that, I said, I'm posting this right now. I remember me and you were so nervous to post this. Because we were like, oh my God, we don't want to get in trouble. But when I saw the responses, bro, I just said to myself, imagine I listened to this woman and I just remember that song that I think it's Ron Kenoly or Don Moen. Whose report will you believe?
Facts,
we
bro.
shall believe the report of the Lord. His report says, I am free. Hey, bro, they get you singing that shit in church, but you be giving offering. The report of the Lord.
For real, bruv. For real. Whose report will you believe? And to be honest, from now on, I'm believing the reports of those who are builders. Those who built something. In fact, today I was reading, it was a dope post. I actually put it on my Instagram story. It was basically a guy who has read the past 26 years. I think it's 26. The past 26 shareholders' letters that Jeff Bezos has written, right? So every year he'll write a letter to the shareholders basically saying something about how they're running Amazon, the plans they have, the business, and so on. He read all of them. He said, basically, if you read those letters, it's like an MBA in and of itself. Then he now broke down the main lessons from it. And I read through it, like learning so much, but I gave it the credence because I was like, I can see what this guy has built. It's on my phone.
Absolutely,
I ordered
absolutely.
these mics we're speaking into right now. I ordered them on Amazon, right? So he's put the work up. Now you come and tell me, oh, essentially what you need to do is join Illuminati. I'll be like, hey, that Illuminati is popping off. I've seen some results. You see what I'm saying? But he wasn't even saying that. He was just saying simple things like, you know, being risk averse is detrimental to innovation and long-term value creation. So if you're constantly trying to avoid risk, if you play the whole thing safe, like on defense mode, you're not going to innovate. You're not going to create value over a long period of time.
Do you know why Kobe?
Very simple point.
Kobe Bryant was named one of the biggest closers in his period. When that last shot needs to be taken, he's on the ball. Do you know why? Because he missed the last two shots when he first started. 2 air balls in a playoff final where they were supposed to advance to the maybe conference finals or the finals of the whole thing. And he took the big shots and he missed 2 air balls. He missed 2 and cost him the game. And Shaq put his arm around him and said, hey, everyone's laughing at you now for missing those shots. But there will come a time where they'll be begging that you don't get that ball in your hand. And Kobe's the kind of person who saw everyone booing and he lives off of that. Yeah. Hey, he said it on the podcast. He said, the shots weren't bad. They were just short. So I said to myself, I need more strength. So he got in the gym, builds on his strength to be able to shoot a longer shot at that point of the game. Got to the point where if it's running down on the clock and you give Kobe the ball, people would start going home. This nigga done shot the 3. Yeah. And so you have to go through that disappointment to get to that level. Like you said, don't play it safe. Yeah. You got to.
That's another one of the things that he put in there that, like, in fact, what he said was interesting. He said, you only need to be 70% sure to move forward. Because if the time it takes to get to 80% sure will make you slow.
It will make you 50% in doubt.
And if you're good at reiterating means you go back, work on it again and do it again, then you're better off at the cost of getting it wrong at 70% because you've always got the chance to redo and work on it than you are. It's cheaper for you to get it wrong at 70% than it is to wait till you're 80% sure.
Perfect, yeah.
And I was like, this is, of course, because Amazon, I don't use Amazon Music.
No.
But that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because I use Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
I use, all the other Amazon products that they have. So it's like they don't have to, not everything has to be nothing but net.
But is everything on Netflix nothing but net?
Of course not.
Do you know how many things you don't watch on Netflix?
Bro, and this is, and that is so big for me because like, there's so many, even doing this podcast, remember I said to you that like, I've just kind of got a fly by the seat of your pants approach to it because I was about to start getting bogged down on like what music should we use and blah blah. I was like, no, cut the music, whatever it is. If you want to add a theme tune after episode 363,
add a theme
we
tune.
can add a theme tune. But if I'm gonna let the theme tune be the reason why we holding this up for another week or.
But remember, it's like when I said my friend said to me, "I'm perfectionist." I said, "What have you perfected?"
Yeah, exactly, bro. That bar was hard though. People hit me up afterwards like, "Yo, that bar was cold."
She hated me for that.
Of course, bruv.
And I didn't even say to be a prick. Yeah. I just said to, because I knew what she was saying. Yeah. I've been there. How you, hey, Allah, you see, then you say, I don't want to get bogged down on that. When I'm writing now, I sit there thinking, oh, the word, hey, write rubbish.
You write it.
Write rubbish.
Write it.
Because if you start your weighing on that, that's just going to hold you back for nothing.
100%.
And I remember there's a quote on my wardrobe and it says, it's Denzel that said it. I don't know where he got it from, but he's the one I first heard to say it. And he literally just said, it's really easy. He just said, ease is a bigger threat to progress than hard work.
Ooh.
When I heard that, and you know what, Ola? That's what I'm going to tell all the young cats who want to join the team when it starts popping.
Yeah.
I'm going to say to them, are you ready to not like yourself?
Mad.
Are you ready to go home stressed?
Mad.
Are you ready to look at this craft and think to yourself, is this really for me? Because if you're not, then you're not ready to do it. If you think it's all glossy and all cool and all chilling, you're wrong, man.
Do you know what? You need to realize how lucky you are that somebody's warning you it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Because some people had to figure out it's hard on the job.
We all did. Well,
yeah, we did.
The beauty is you all will.
You all will.
You all will.
But
don't be afraid of that hard.
Yeah, if you don't like me because I'm telling you it's going to be hard, or you think that I don't like you, then you don't want it.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When people ask me, how do you, because it's being a comic, this is me, being a comic, writing jokes is no joke. Being a comedian is not funny. Yeah. You know, some people come up to you like, I thought you'd be a bit more funny. And you're like,
what you
like, do I go up to you and be like, you're a secretary, right? How come you not been typing today? Like at a barbecue.
Why are you taking so long to text me back?
Right. Oh, you be having mass spelling mistakes in your. I thought you were a secretary. So it's like, oh, you see a footballer.
Yeah.
Hey, when I passed you that gravy, I thought you'd have a bit more control when you took it off me. You be like, what? So they don't understand being a comedian is our job.
Yeah.
Some of us are naturally funny. Some of us have. Like one girl said to me today, she messaged me saying she wants to come down to London. Do you know, have you been out? And this is why I said I haven't been out, but, and I wasn't even trying to coach me. I haven't been out, but I have been around, seen people. So yeah, you can come down. She goes, you really can't have a conversation without being funny, can you? Laugh out loud. And I just really think to myself, where was I funny? Part of me was like this. Yeah, either I'm working too hard to try and be funny, overthinking this,
bro,
or she just doesn't understand me. Because Allah, there was nothing about me that was trying to be funny in that moment.
Those accidental funnies, I'd be looking at, you don't know whether to take the credit for it yet or not. You're like, wait, what? Oh,
I literally read it back. Like, what was funny about this?
But it gets to a certain point where you've done your job so much that funny is you. So what you're saying, if it comes from you, is funny. They got to a point where there's certain people where I would look at them and they'd be like, I can't look at you without not laughing.
I know, I've been there.
You know what I'm saying? Like something about your face just already is...
The way you just talk, it just makes me laugh. I don't know why I get emotional about that. As you say I'm a clown or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I would always start being like, I started treasuring my serious time way more because I was like... Nah,
your friend random thing when you say I'm a clown. I rob people, Sorry. You do what? You trying to compensate for the soft side that they see. I stab people, yeah? Okay. But yeah, you're right. You get to that moment where you're just kind of like...
Yeah, man.
But for us, because, again, and you know what? People don't know about comedy. They don't realize how...
Either they don't know.
Or they don't show. The thing is, they don't realize when you do a set on a stage, man, it's when you're done and you've got to the last joke and it was a good set, I'm good.
Facts.
I don't even want to talk anymore after time.
Facts. And do you know what? I am 100% with you. But I also learned from gigging in the States and watching some of the headliners that I got a chance to observe, like D.L. Hughley, that there's a new level of like professionalism and being somewhat dedicated, where they would. It's almost like they end up doing like an extended set, because afterwards they start meeting the people, right? So they're selling merchandise, or in D.L. Hughley's case, it's like you pay $5 to take a picture with him, and they print it out straight away there for you, and it comes pre-signed, and it's a whole operation. I observed
that's
it. Like,
capitalism, though. Really.
Oh, it is capitalism. Yeah. But to watch him basically go on stage, do an hour, and then banter with people, or like. Someone walks up, you got like 3 seconds to say something that's going to connect you with that person, get the picture, keep them moving. He does that with like 400 people in the queue. I was like, do you know what? Yeah, there's a new level to this, right? And that made me up my game when I wanted to sell the DVDs, that you're still going into it. And other comedians were like, once I'm done, I'm done. I don't want to be out here talking to the people. And I was like, I'm with you 100%. But what I've observed in terms of where I want to grow to, there's times where you just need to come back.
Another thing is this, though. It's D.L. Hughley.
Yeah.
The nigga that opened. They were like, yeah. But I also believe
but he was good, though.
D.L. Hughley was good.
He was good. What I mean by he's good.
Def Jam, though.
What I mean by he was good, though, is that like, so there was where I watched him perform was like a community college somewhere in Jersey, right? So. And these community colleges, they be having huge campuses with these huge venues, whatever. So it was a huge venue, but like certain students won the opportunity to like a VIP meet and greet kind of thing. So I was in the room for the meet and greet as well. And
did you win, or you knew the person?
I was with DL, and his opening act was my guy, is my friend. So his opening act, I was rolling with his opening act, and then yeah, if I tell you the whole story of that whole day with D.L. Hughley, that's a whole story in itself. We can get into that. But especially in this situation, what I wanted to say is I was sitting there watching him, and he made every single one of these students that was in there feel like part of a very special after-hours show. He was asking, what are you studying, man? He'll banter with the person on what they study, because he's obviously picked up a little bit of everything. Then he'll connect it with somebody over here who told him that he was studying this. Like, y'all should get together and do blah, blah, blah. He created a whole new show out of that. And I was like, when I was watching this, I was studying it, and I was going, do you know what? This is amazing right here. This is a level of professionalism and of being a star that I'd like to grow to. He wasn't just relying on the fact that I'm D.L. Hughley. He had the skills. He was doing the work. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that I really respected about him. How it happened, I'm really good friends with my guy, Brian Ritchie. Brian Ritchie's opening for DL. He used to open for DL for a while. So we go, all right, so basically I go and hang out with Brian in Phoenix or whatever. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. He's like, I got gigs in New York opening for DL. Do you want to come? I'm like, hell yeah. Like, let's book some tickets. Let's go to New York. So we get there. We go to the spot we're supposed to meet up with DL and his bodyguard and his manager. Let me not say Edwards. These brothers decide that they want to go get mani-pedis. So they go to some upscale, uptown spa, and it's just me and my guy just waiting for him. He's really doing like superstar lifestyle. They're like, we're starting to run late for the show. This is in New York. The show's in Jersey. So they just put me and him in a taxi and like, yo, just go over and start the show. We'll get him there on time. You might need to do a bit longer. Just keep going until they give you the note that D.L. Hughley showed up. So I'm in the taxi and I just go over there and, you know what I'm saying, like I'm watching the show and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, consummate professional, even though he wasn't there for the start of the show. D.L. Hughley shows up on time, does an hour, absolutely smashes the hall, the room, the arena. And then, yeah, basically I watched him do like the photo operation, the way that it works. His manager, his assistant shows up. She's got the wireless printer, the thing they take the photos with. They've got pre-arranged cardboard slots to put the Polaroids into, which are already pre-signed by him. And they're collecting the $5 before they walk up to him. As by the time they're walking off, he'll quickly say something to you after the picture. just to give the printer enough time for the picture to come out. By that time, the picture's already in the thing. As you walk off, you collect your picture, you keep it going. I watched that. I was like, this is amazing. Then I watched them continue after that, do the VIP meet and greet. And then it was now time to go back. And because we had come in separate cars, now we've only got one car as DL's car. They put me in the boot. I had to sit in the boot to ride back to New York because there was no space for me, basically. And DL was just ripping me the whole time.
Of course.
He was ripping me like, basically like, was smuggling me. Oh, we got Jeffrey from the Fresh Prince over here. Like,
you didn't clap back?
Bro, I'm in DL Hughley's car. I was just like, ka and like having good conversation. I wasn't starstruck, but at the same time, I was like, this is a moment for me. Like, I've watched this dude on, Original Kings of Comedy. So, we were just talking about like Carnival. He's come to the UK a couple times, all that kind of stuff. So we're just having a good conversation. I was just really like looking at my life. Like, I've got videos of this as well, so I can prove it. But I was just really looking at my life.
Prove it for who?
I don't know, because he might be thinking like, well, what's the point in all of this? And maybe it didn't happen or whatever.
Who?
But I'm saying you or anybody listening.
But why would I think that though?
I don't know, but I'm just saying.
Why would I think you would concoct a whole story about DL Hughley? Not even Eddie or Dave Chappelle. DL.
Don't disrespect DL
like that. I'm a DL fan. I grew up on DL. That's my guy. That's my,
if you're going to make up a story, make up one with a better comic.
No. I'm saying if you're going to make up a story, at least make it one. It's not, no, a lot of people know DL Hughley. You have to be a comedy fan to know DL Hughley.
All right, fair play.
Because when he came to London, they didn't even sell enough tickets for him.
You don't have to say that.
But that's our fault. That's our fault. He's a great comic. He's a great comic.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about him was he was one of the only black comics at the time who was doing observational material, but still keeping it very black.
Yeah.
Talking about
and politics as well.
Politics. He was one of the.
He was doing
don't get it twisted. He was my favorite on Kings of Comedy at first.
Okay.
Actually, I think he still is. I think he still, because his set was a written set.
Do you know what? He's actually my least favorite.
Really?
Yes.
Not that it's bad.
Not that it's bad.
Even after Steve.
Steve was actually my second favorite.
Okay, who was your first? Cedric.
Cedric's my first on that show. Steve, because of the unplugging stuff and the napkin. Yeah. The napkin was the first time I ever proper cried laughing.
Okay.
So I watched it and I was like, he's good, but the rest of the time he was just kind of hosting, so it wasn't really material like that. So that's why he dropped to number 2. Cedric was just for me, just kept hitting. Bernie. Some of the stuff I don't actually find it as funny as other people, but come on, man, when he had some punches, he had some punches. And then DL was actually a good, solid comic to me. Putting him in the last place
as well. They put him first.
Yeah, exactly.
He had to open up.
I'm saying that me putting him last in my ranking doesn't mean that I thought he was bad.
He was only different. He was the only different comic because it was actually Guy Torry that was on the tour first, and Bill Bellamy.
Yes.
But they took them off.
Yeah.
And you notice
Tony Woods was supposed to be on.
Tony was supposed to be on everything.
No. Yeah.
That nigga still say, they said on the Tiffany Haddish thing, they said he was Dave Chappelle's mentor. I said, was he?
He kind of was. Like, Chappelle gives him that like
They
OG...
say Chappelle stole his style. I don't see how.
I do. Because I remember when I first saw him, I was like, this sounds just like Chappelle.
So maybe he stole Chappelle's style.
No, but it was like, if you watch early Chappelle, and it's like, man.
Yeah, very goofy.
He was very goofy. And then all of a sudden he got this like...
Jay-Z started with Hawaiian Soaky fame. Then all of a sudden he slows it down and has substance to it.
Fair play.
So you evolve.
You do evolve. And I think Chappelle was clearly influenced. But Chappelle's made his own thing.
And number one, Chappelle's a better writer.
100%.
And Tony's funny, but he's never upped his writing.
Tony used to have 1 or 2 well-written jokes.
Right.
But I feel like maybe... Do you see... Here's the thing. I think it's weird in terms of where the trajectory goes as a comic. If you do the clubs, basically, you burn through material and you can get to a point where if you are kind of already known as funny, you start to slack off on the writing a bit, right? Now
you rely on your personality.
You rely on your personality. So if you are a star, that's okay because you're doing that with millions, right?
Right.
And stuff is still coming in and there's still some glitz and glamour to you. With Tony hasn't had those big flashing, like, apart from this, recent Tiffany Haddish, They Ready set that he did, but he hasn't really had that big.
Did you think they were ready? I'm joking. Go ahead.
But he hasn't really had that, so that's the reason why.
Neither is Godfrey. And he was on that as well.
Yeah. But that's the whole point of that show is that like.
But
these
you
guys
did realize But here's the thing, and this is why every comic has to be honest with themselves. Sometimes when you watch the material, you realize why you're on that platform, and that's facts, bro. Whether you can stomach it or not, that's facts,
bro. These guys have been working at the top of their game, and they've been putting the work that they need to put in. I respect it. I love it because they're both people who have made me laugh. Tony Woods did Kojo's Comedy Funhouse, that's when I was really like, this guy sounds like Chappelle. And then later on found out why I thought that. And I'm watching him and meeting him, and I had a real respect for him. Now, you know, I've heard of plenty of stories and reasons why why he might not have got the success he's looking for. But
sometimes
I
you
can't
just
take
don't
away
get the
from the
success.
fact. Sometimes it's true.
People actually think they're entitled because you're funny. That's just not how it works.
Exact. Now you hit the nail on the head.
And that's what Ari Spears was trying to tell Kevin Hart. Look, so Kevin Hart was trying to tell Ari Spears, like, why are you coming at me? I don't even make the rules. He just ticked the boxes that worked. But you're looking at me. You've been touring before me.
And Kevin Hart outworked him as well.
Big time. He outworked everyone.
Yeah.
And he took advantage of every opportunity. So why would you go at him and say, and Mike Epps went at him, and I was disappointed because I was like, why are you lot going at Kevin? He didn't do anything but follow the rules of working hard. And then remember, Kevin Hart is short. He's friendly. I came in my room, my wife punched him in the face. You lot are alpha males. I'm fucking bitches getting pussy. That doesn't work as a family brand. Kevin Hart does.
Yeah.
He's not threatening.
Yeah.
He does more movies than Dave Chappelle and Jamie Foxx. He was on a Jamie Foxx radio show. Yeah. And they were ripping him saying you'll never make movies. That was the gag around because they had a battle. And Jamie Foxx goes, you can't be working. He goes, you're too dark to work. He has to be sad. This unless they're making Roots 2. And this is on the Foxhole. So it was damn speedy. And then Jamie got because Jamie's funny, but Kevin Hart got him. He said, your hairpiece. He said, you and Steve Harvey been to the same nigga for the last... And the whole radio station went left. The whole radio. Even Jamie didn't see that coming. Got him nicely on that.
And to be honest, to go at Jamie...
And win... And this is him. We know it. This is Jamie. This is Kevin Hart. Y'all tried to bully me. I came. I stood. This is Jamie. You didn't stand. Because he had to try and get him again. Yeah. But Kevin Hart was good.
Yeah.
He held his own.
Yeah.
And that added to the brand.
Of course.
Fast forward, he was telling Jamie was telling him you'd never get a movie. Yeah. When Jamie won his award, he said, and Kevin Hart was in the dance. Remember that dance they were doing on the BT? Yeah. Can I just get a movie with Kevin Hart? Can you say it flips?
Yeah.
Because Kevin Hart was the best. He's done way more movies than Jamie now.
I mean, I don't know if Kevin's got that Oscar.
No, it's not about the Oscar. It's about the movies.
But yeah.
Because at that time, Jamie had the Oscar. And he was still asking, can I get a movie with Kevin?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you do have to swallow your words.
You have to swallow your words.
And to be honest, all power to
Same
Kevin
as Ari
Hart
Spears running his mouth about people. Jordan Peele and Key and Peele, you were working with them on Mad TV. Yeah. You came out and said they were married to white women. You didn't need to do that, but you did that. They write Get Out. You audition for Get Out.
Mad.
And they audition you. And he said, when you go in and then the nigga is being nice and respectful, but they ain't going to give you shit. He said he felt like that.
Yeah. I mean, partly also maybe could be due to the talent as well.
No. He was never going to get that job.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe there's other reasons why you wouldn't have got it, but...
No. That was the only reason why he wouldn't get it. He could have smashed that read out the park. They wouldn't have taken it. Because you didn't come... What's his name? Patrice O'Neal read for... Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Chris Rock was like... This is the first time I heard about Patrice O'Neal. Properly.
Yeah.
Chris Rock was like... You could have got the job. You're just as funny as we are.
You had the role.
Listen, you're just as funny as we are. This is me. Why is Chris Rock lying to this young man? This nigga ain't even that funny. Then I watched his special. And then I realized why he didn't get Everybody Hates Chris. Yeah. Because if you look at his persona on stage, he just can't show up to audition and take it seriously.
But no, he could have if he had a separate stage persona. The problem is he was too real. Like what he was doing on stage was what he was living in real life. And
but that's why he was so good on stage.
I know.
And also, that's why he doesn't need to be in Everybody Hates Chris.
Very true.
Give it to that tap dancing, what's his name?
Terry Crews.
Yeah, give it to that tap dancing Terry Crews. Give it to him, and he will fit that role. Yeah, and that's great work from Chris Rock too.
Yeah,
because they're going with the person that wants to be here. That nigga came dressed as a dad.
Yeah,
in overalls and everything.
Yeah,
but you just came in like on some. Are you gonna give me the part or not?
Yeah, and to be honest, I think sometimes when we talk about talent, we don't talk about the character you also need to work on as well for people to want to work with you. And I think sometimes people like to pretend as though character shouldn't matter.
Oh my God.
It does matter. And I feel like it matters even on a day-to-day basis. Like even if you're talking about somebody you're dating, like you're going to spend a lot of time with this person. However they look, even the money they have, whatever it is, at one point, it's not going to matter to you. It may matter to you overall, but there's going to come a day where it doesn't matter to you that much. And the way that their character is going to grate on you. It's way more important. It's way more important. And if it's not a good character, it's going to hurt you. Really, really hurt you. And so that's why, no matter what you have going for you, having good character is...
Always have a good character. Always be professional. Always respect people because you don't know tomorrow.
Facts.
I got Chamodor Nights with Frankie Boyle because of character. They wanted Reginald D. Hunter.
Oh, wow.
But he was going to Edinburgh.
Okay.
The producer of the show told Frankie Boyle, I know a comedian and I can get him. And he called me and said, Funmbi, you're the only person I know who can do this job. I was giving him suggestions. You called, this nigga called, because it was Chamodor Nights, it was Channel 4, and I didn't want to embarrass this guy.
Yeah.
But he said, Funmbi, can you do this? I had to take a leap of faith. I said, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And they fly me out on the day of the first shoot. No rehearsals. They send me the script. Yeah. I show up. They put me in makeup and put all this Mr. T thing on me. Yeah. And I go straight there with Frankie Boyle, Tom Stade.
Yeah.
It's the first time I met Tom.
Yeah, that guy.
Love Tom Stade. The first time I met Tom, good dude, man. He said, Funmbi, I can get you into the comedy store, man. Give me a call when you get back to London. I want to see some comedy from you. I wasn't ready that time. Yeah. So I didn't call him.
Oh, wow.
That's how much I respect the craft, bro.
Wow.
I said, I'm not going to call you and embarrass you in front of Don.
Wow.
I'm not going to do that. I respect this craft too much. I need to get better to be able to get to that stage.
Was that respect or fear?
A bit of both.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't ready.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't going to go in there and be like, Nigerians make some noise. I knew there was more. I knew there was more to my comedy that had to come for me to level up. Yeah. By the way, don't get it twisted. Those audiences were not. They weren't better than the audiences I was doing, but the level had to be better. No, fam, they weren't better than my audiences. Fuck that. But I did have to level up.
I didn't say that,
only because they had a culture of comedy.
Yeah.
If you've been going to the comedy store, you've been going to see how comedians do a professional 20 minutes.
Which makes them.
if you come to my world, it was more of an entertainment package.
Yeah.
And so I had that skill.
Yeah, I know.
And so I
get it, but I'm saying now.
It's like Chris Rock said, we have to learn how to dribble with both. We have to play with both hands.
Yeah. But I feel like having a comedy audience, for me personally,
works better.
Is better.
It works better for me too.
And to be honest, like it's not to do with the ethnicity or whatever.
No, it's more the culture.
And that's why at Sunday service, I'm trying to build like a stand-up culture.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why when certain promoters holler at me for certain shows and I say, I don't know, they're like, why don't you want to do the all-day brunch? Because it's not a comedy audience.
Yes.
They're there for all-day brunch.
Yes.
I'm interrupting the brunch.
Exactly.
Is what you're telling me. And I don't really want to do that. I'd rather go where there is no brunch. I'm the man they came to see.
Yeah.
And so when I got on that set, it was that behavior, that trusting. The producer was so respectful because I did so much work for him. He was so happy to have me on board. He made me believe I could do it. I remember I did my first line, but I was holding back. I didn't do it in an American accent. I just did it as a British accent in Mr. T voice. He goes, no, Funmbi, Frankie Boyle, go full BA. So he said to me, go full BA. I went full BA after that. And we had a good time. But just to say what you said, it's so important to be professional and to be respectful.
Yeah.
And just try and take every experience as your last.
How long have we talked for today? That's the first moral of the story. Second of all, I want to say, Jason, there you go. Are you happy? That's an hour and 40 minutes or so.
No, Jason, yeah. Ola was looking at the time the whole time. I went 25. I'm gonna round up soon.
Yo.
The maddest thing,
Yeah.
That didn't feel like an hour and a half, so I'm kind of scared.
Why are you scared?
That we've spoken for almost an hour and 40 minutes and I didn't feel it.
Bro, anyway, we be doing whole podcasts on the phone anyway. This is natural conversation for us, and that's why it feels so easy to do. And my issue is not necessarily how much time we do. It's more the fact that I need to go through this and edit it. But I've been trying to...
Ease. It's a bigger threat to progress.
Oh, and not even just that as well, bro. You know when you don't when you're growing your podcast, if somebody's gonna like be introduced to your podcast and like every episode is 3 hours, they're gonna be like, oh man, like even before I even get one episode, I have to put 3 hours into this.
Yeah.
Whereas if they start off with some smaller episodes, they get a chance to be like, I like this, now I want more. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
I mean, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying, but I don't agree.
Fair enough.
I believe if you want to put 10 hours in your first one, put 10 hours. Those that will listen.
True. And on that note, those of you who are listening, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you very much. Every single one of you. Shout out to everybody who subscribed. We see a bump in listeners after the 3 Shots appearance. Thank you to every person who has hopped on over, who has appreciated what we're doing over here.
Shout out to Black Thingy for sending that lovely message to me on Twitter saying I'm one of the most talented comics in the country. I framed that shit.
A shout out to you, bro. Was it bro?
No, it was. I think it was a person. You know, someone commented.
It was a person.
I said it was a person. He said it was a bro.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it was as a male, but it was
A shout out to whoever that was.
Operation Black Vote.
Okay, yeah. I saw that tweet. I retweeted that, man.
Operation Black Vote is just to tackle the black democratic deficit in the UK. Shout out to them. Make sure you follow them for doing black stuff. We love them.
Fantastic, man. And make sure you guys are following on the socials.
Yes.
At Funmbi Matai on Instagram. At Ola the Comedian on everything. And that's on everything.
That's on everything.
That's on everything.
That's on neighborhood.
I need to come
the moment you said, and that's on everything. I was just about to jump in. That's on everything. Put that on everything.
Yo, man. Make sure you sign up to the Patreon.
That's Patreon. On God.
Sign to patreon.com/Ola the Comedian. On episode 5, there was some bonus content.
There was some bonus content. Nah, bro. Not in our podcast.
While we were eating Chinese and talking. If you want to hear our conversation about...
There was some bonus while we were eating Chinese content and talking.
We're talking about cheating. If you want to hear that, you need to be a patron. So make sure you hit up the Patreon from £3 a month. Appreciate the support you guys put into the content. And also interact with us, man. DM us if you got any questions.
Slide in the DMs. They're open.
Slide in the DMs.
Go down in the DMs. It doesn't, but we wanted to.
That's what's up. Hit us up in the DMs so that we can get some interaction going. Appreciate all the good feedback from you guys, but it's also good to interact with some of these topics. And if there's something particularly you want us to address, that would be dope as well. This is very free flow and very free form, so we appreciate even if it's not structured as we would usually do it. On that note, peace.
Peace, man. Peace and love.